Oh yeah. Let's go. 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 What's going on, family? How we doing? How we doing? I see we got a couple people tapped in right now. Let's keep running these numbers up, y'all. Share this out. Y'all can share this YouTube link out to anybody who you feel comfortable with sharing it to. Oh, it's blurring me out a little bit. We can't have that. How we doing, family? Listen, y'all. So I'm using a new platform tonight called StreamYard, okay? And I need for y'all to interact with me so I can see who's tapped in and who's engaged. All you have to do is drop something into the comments on YouTube, and I'm going to be able to see you on my end on StreamYard, okay? So drop something in the comments on YouTube so I can see you on my end, all right? So I can see who's in here. Look at these names. Look at these names. All right. Where we got? Who we got? Who we got up in here? Just drop some in the comments for me, family, so we can see who's in this house. And in a couple minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and start this training, y'all. Welcome to the Dollar for Dollar Business Credit Training. I'm excited to have y'all here. Okay, we got quite a few people on right now. Amazing! Look at y'all. Come on, Taylor, Shayla. That's my sister's name, Shayla. Bree. Come on, Bree. I like the energy, y'all. I like the energy. I love the energy. Actually, I'm appreciative that you all came. It is Monday, y'all. What we got? We almost halfway through March. That's literally crazy to me that we almost halfway through March. But um we out here, we working. For my people who are tapped in, what type of businesses do you all have? I like to use examples of the people who are actively in the room because y'all the ones who spending your time to work with me, to get through this with me. So I'm like, let me invest in you by spending some time learning about what you do and how I can apply these real world examples to what it is that you actually do. So what type of business are you all in? Let me know. Let me know what type of business you in. Okay? Let me know. Type of business we in, family. Massage therapist. Okay, massage therapy. I'm here for it. I love it. Massage therapy, that's dope. Super dope, actually. Here for it. Massage therapy. All right. We got people, we still got people tapping in. This is dope. This is dope. All right, so listen, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started because time waits for no one. And we can't be out here playing games. All right. There's some people out here playing games. We can't be playing games. All right, we got to get into it. We got to get into it. So, in this training, you all, I'm going to give you all an overview on business credit. We're going to talk about a lot of different types of business credit and what you need, how your profile needs to be set up for your business credit. Now, before we get started, y'all, what's your familiarity with business credit? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? With 1 being you know absolutely nothing, and 10 being that you can replace me in my seat right now today. And I'm gonna let you teach this class tonight. This training is on you tonight. 1 to 10, where do you lie in that spectrum? 1 to 10. Let me know. 1 to 10. What's up, Shannon? What's up? What's up? 1 to 10. Where are you at in that spectrum? 1 to 10. Like if you had to choose, 1 being the least, 10 being the greatest. Let me know where you at. All right. 1. Okay, Shayla. 3. Bree. Listen, I appreciate you all's honesty because a lot of people will not be honest about where they are in their journey. So I'm super appreciative that you all are being honest because this is very, very important. I built 30K no PG, but I'm still working. Shoot. Come on, Taylor. Come replace me then. Come replace me then, Queen. All right, y'all. So let's get this party started. Welcome to the Dollar for Dollar training. I obviously called it the Dollar for Dollar training because Yo Gotti just made a song called Dollar for Dollar, and some people paid $1 to get here. Okay, so As we go through this training, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit more about who I am. My name is Rari, founder of VentHer. You said no. And when it comes to the things that I do, the businesses that I run, I have two major businesses, one being business consulting and the second being a real estate investor. So for you all who do not know, I made this public yesterday, but I did it on a slight tip. I just became a home inspector in Georgia, and this is helping me scale up my real estate portfolio. Okay. So with me, business consultants where I help black owned businesses start, fund, and scale. So everything from legalization to getting funding to using automations to help scale what you're doing. I'm your girl for that. But on the real estate side, I'm a home inspector. I'm looking to invest in commercial real estate. And I also have a couple of short term rentals. So I do a lot with a lot, but I'm here to help y'all with the business credit because when it comes to this business credit, y'all, when it comes to this business funding, right? Because business credit is just one piece of business funding, but you have startup loans, equipment loans, lines of credit. There's a lot of different things when it comes to business funding that are much greater than just business credit. And we're going to get into that today. I hope y'all ready for this. So before we jump into the basics, y'all, the basics of the overview that you all need tonight, really understand the mindset that comes with this. One, you need to learn when it's time to leave your job. Some of us leave prematurely. If you're like me, I had to leave. I was out of there. I was gone. I don't know if there's anybody in here right now who wants to fire their boss, but I had to fire my boss. She was a lovely lady, but she had to go. Okay? And I wasn't making enough. I wasn't fulfilled, and it just wasn't going to work for me. So I said, I got to be my own boss, make my own money, choose what I want for my life. And that's what I did. All right. When it comes to what you all are doing in your business, it's something that you're going to have to learn and earn. Right. We have the more we learn, the more we earn. And that's something that I take in through every piece of my life. I'm always getting consistent training to refine my skills and my knowledge. When it comes to your business, you want to use those funds from the business to invest in the business. So I don't know about y'all, but my first business ever was the vending machine business. And me and my partner put $3,500 into that business. That's because we did not know about this thing called business credit. Imagine if we could have saved $3,500. That ain't no chump change, all right? I don't care how people want to make it sound. $3,500 is not chump change. So we want to condition ourselves to learn how to start using the business's money to invest in the business instead of our own. We're going to talk about credit. So, examining what you need with that credit, but also think about integrity, y'all. We got to have integrity in our businesses. I was just talking about this with somebody. A lot of people do not have integrity in their business and they wonder why it's going the way it's going. Sometimes scammers win, but I'm not promoting that on this here call, okay? And lastly, the information about bankrupting your business and fraudulent activity, that's not integrity, y'all. Think about that. There's no need to be doing this in your business. Let's be smart about what we're doing and let's build our business appropriately so we don't have to run plays that force us to put our backs against the wall just to get that income that we need for our business. Okay. Now you might be like, why does that matter? It matters because we want scalable, fundable businesses. And the more at risk we are from doing at risk activities, that doesn't allow us to scale or fund exactly what we're doing in our business. So, in this training, you all, this dollar for dollar training, thank you, Shayla. In this dollar for dollar training, we're going to talk about what you need prior to getting funding, what happens after you get funding, and then how to scale your funding potential. Okay. So, firstly, why business credit? And if y'all got any other thoughts on why you would want to use business credit outside of what you see, let me know because I'm always looking to grow and learn. So let me know if there's anything that I ain't considered here. But the first thing is leverage, right? Leverage and versatility. We're able to leverage business credit because they have things that don't impact us personally, like the utilization for some business credit cards. We don't have to worry about that impacting us personally negatively, like we do if we used a personal credit card to fund our business. That is not leverage. You can leverage it, but that's not the most optimal form of leverage. Okay. The versatility. These business credit cards tend to allow you to get a lot more a lot more borrowing power. So they have a lot more, in my opinion, better benefits than personal credit because a business is using it, a corporation. All right. And then obviously your tax benefits. Now, I'm not no CPA. I'm not nobody's CPA, not nobody's tax preparer, nothing like that. But when it comes to these tax benefits, You get the tax benefits because you have a business. There are some personal benefits. However, the business is what the United States of America is a corporation, right? So these major tax benefits that we get are from literally being compliant with what the entire country was built on, the principles of business, right? So when we understand when it comes to business, taxes, businesses are privileged in those ways. The law was written for businesses, not for individuals, okay? So I want y'all to know that, okay? Y'all with me? Y'all let me know if y'all with me. Because if y'all ain't with me, I'm going to just turn my eyes. I'm going to just go to sleep. I'm going to just go to sleep if y'all ain't with me, okay? Now, when it comes to funding, y'all, take your notes. Take your notes. This is where we're going to get into it. Take your notes, all right? When it comes to funding, y'all, before funding, it's important that you establish your business a particular way to successfully obtain funding. These things that you want to consider, right? Like legitimizing your business to make you be put in a position to whereas the lenders trust you with borrowing their money and actually paying it back as well. This is extremely important. The foundation for your business is extremely important. Okay. So we're going to get into it, y'all. First things first, your business name. List y'all businesses in the comments. Let me know what you do. See, any other time y'all be plugging y'all business when I ain't asked y'all, but go ahead, plug it right now. Let me see it. I would love to see it. What's going on, Angel? I would love to see what businesses you have, and I'm gonna let you know right here, right now on this call if it's risky or not. Okay. But when it comes to your businesses, y'all, you need to make sure that you have a non-risky business name. The reason why you want to make sure you have a non-risky business name is because if you are in a high risk industry like what you see listed here, credit repair, trucking, real estate, etc., lottery, gambling, pawn shops, weapons, anything that's considered high risk, based on your name alone, the lenders can deny you for funding, or they can put you through a more rigid underwriting process for funding, which makes it the level of being able to obtain the funding more difficult. So by us having a non-risky name, that allows us to be able to actually have one less barrier in front of us to get funding. Okay. So you want to try names like, okay, Bree Wellness. I love it. I wouldn't put my name in my business, but I still like it. I still like it. Bree Wellness LLC, Ritzy Manor LLC. I like it. Something group. Good Vending and Connecting Homes for You, LLC. I love it. Okay. So those are all, from my opinion, non-risky businesses. Okay. Online business manager and system creator. Okay. Hilltop Services. Super great names I'm hearing so far. So you all will probably be good to go from at least the name. Okay. Even Shannon, Infinite Management Solutions, R&R. Nothing about that gives me a inclination that that's a risky business name. Okay. So keep that in mind. People who put things in their name like financials or money, those things are considered risky because of what the lenders can assume based on what they see in your name. They're just assuming based on your name what type of business you're in. And that way they can actually label your business based on that, depending on how they go about obtaining information for your business. All right. Next thing you want to look into, we got the business name. Now you want to look into your business address. Now pay attention, y'all. The way that I teach my community, because I got a couple people in my next gen community right now. The way I teach them and how I'm teaching you all is that I'm leading you up to the process of getting funding. So this is what we want to do and make sure these things are right on our LLC application, right? So when you go and apply for that LLC, you need all of these things. You also want to make sure that this is good when you go out and you go apply for your EIN. All of these things are considered, from the name to the business address, and it needs to be consistent throughout, which is why I'm going in this chronological order to help you all. Okay. So you want to make sure you have a business address. The lenders will definitely look up your address. 100%. So when it comes to your virtual address, y'all, or when it comes to your address, there are some people, I had a speaking engagement last night that they had no idea that you could actually pay for a virtual address. They were using their personal home addresses. There are these things called virtual addresses or virtual offices now. If you live in a metropolitan city or urban city, they have what you call a co-working space. And a lot of those co-working spaces, like WeWork, those co-working spaces allow people to rent out virtual offices where they will give you a business phone number, fax number, and attendant will answer the phone on behalf of your company. And they will also give you a virtual office, or you'll have a mailbox that you can actually get things shipped to and then get it mail forwarded to your home. So that's a virtual office. A virtual address is literally just the address, okay? So these are a couple of different companies that you can look into depending on your city. Now, you can use your home address and still be approved. Everything that I teach people in my community is not to say definitively that you will not get approved. I don't like to definitively say yes or no because I'm not the lender myself, but I do know what works and I do know what doesn't work a lot of times. So the rankings in which you want to look at this is you start off, you want that brick and mortar. That's first thing. If you got a physical location, I see somebody got a candle and home decor. If they have a who's Dominique? If Dominique has a physical location for their candle and home decor business, that's what you would want to use first. However, if Dominique is making the wax candles or the wicks at home and doing all of those other things, then at that point Dominique would probably want to use a virtual office or a virtual address. All right. After that, then you will use your personal address. So this is the ranking in which we're prioritizing these. We never want to use PO boxes like USPS or UPS, any of those PO boxes, because those are not even legitimate at all. Those are not physical addresses. So you want to make sure you Google your address to make sure it's legit. You go on iPostal, for example, look at the address and see what pops up when you look online. If you see nothing but a piece of flat land and a tumbleweed, what do you think the lenders are going to see when they look it up? It's not going to be a building mysteriously built there when they Google it. So these are the things that you want to consider when it comes to your business address, okay? You said what? I'm not sure what means. All right. So once we got that address and that name, we want to start thinking about our entity. Your business entity is the legalization that you have for that business. So some people have sole proprietorships. Some people have LLCs, which stands for limited liability company. Some people have incorporations, right? But when it comes to, sorry, y'all, when it comes to, um, when it comes to your business entity, a lot of people start confusing things when it comes to the when it comes to S corps and C corps. Now I'm not going to get too deep into that, but understand there's one thing it's a legal entity, and there's another thing to be taxed within that legal entity, which is where you get to S corps and other things like that. The S corp is how an LLC is taxed, but there's a lot of red tape that I'm not going to get into on this call because that's not what this is for. But I'm here to tell y'all when it comes to these business entities, understand what you're actually getting into. I always recommend an LLC until you're at that point where you're making enough money to transition over to whatever makes sense for you, whether that's an incorporation or nonprofit or whatever it might be for you. Okay. Now that entity, that's going to create what's called this corporate veil. This corporate veil is what separates you personally from business, right? The corporate veil is saying that I'm hiding myself as a person, and I have relations with this business, but we are not the same. The corporate veil separates you, okay? So it's important that you all create businesses, legal entities to separate you from the business personally. Now think about this, y'all. When it comes to building out your business, some of y'all have businesses that you've been doing. It might be a hobby and you're ready to take that next step, but you haven't created an LLC. But I want y'all to understand that age matters a lot. If I knew Bree for 10 years and I hit up Bree, I said, Bree, let me borrow $50, Bree. I'm gonna pay you back. Bree gonna be like, I got you, sis. But if I knew Bree for 30 days, 10 days, hit up Bree like, yo, can I borrow $50? Bree gonna be like, who the hell are you? Absolutely not. So that age in your business matters when you're thinking about going to go get funding from a lender, right? They want to see some maturity in your business. So think about that. Even if you're not ready to conduct business within the LLC, still go ahead and get that LLC started so you can start gathering that age so that you don't have to wait as long or wait for it to mature to go get your bag, okay? And when it comes to your business phone and your email, think about this. You got your business phone, right? I got two phones. Kevin Gates, I got two phones, one for the load and one for the plug. Sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to say that. I got two phones, right? One phone is personal, one phone is business, but neither of those phones have a toll-free number. Toll-free number means a 1-800 number. Them bill collectors that's been calling you, they calling from a toll-free number because they a business, or they calling from an 888 number. They're not calling from 678-412-513-614. They're not calling from those numbers. So the professionalism is when you have that 1-800 number, and I recommend one that's called Freedom Voice. It's only $10 a month. It's only $10 a month, okay? And when it comes to Freedom Voice, it's an app. It'll give you that toll-free number. They will also give you a fax number included in that as well. Okay? So this is something to consider when it comes to getting that toll-free number. This is the route to go. Okay? And this is a recurring fee that you pay each month to make calls, receive calls, and on this Freedom Voice, I get the call directly to my phone. So when somebody calls my business number, it's going to me personally. So you don't need two separate phones. It's two different phone lines. Okay, let's understand the difference here. I'm really breaking this down for y'all. If I'm breaking this down for y'all, I need y'all to show me some love in the comments. Okay, Grasshopper is good, but it's much more expensive for sure. Freedom Voice is right here on the screen, y'all. Y'all can take pictures of all of this, okay? And this will be recorded on YouTube so y'all can actually watch the replays. You also need a business email. You need a business email that has a domain. Now, everything I'm telling y'all is through the lens of going to go get funding and professionalizing your business. Listen, we can't keep doing these at Gmails from high school. We can't do I'm not even gonna tell y'all the types of names I call myself on some of these apps as a kid, but I knew I was full figured a long time ago, okay? And when you're cutting up as a kid, you just say some things you shouldn't say, okay? And so we can't be doing no big and thick at gmail.com, juicy fruit, Nisi at yahoo.net. We just can't do that, y'all. We can't do Big D, Big Daryl. Like, no, just cut it. Cut it. We need regular names for our business. So I seen what some of y'all put. Y'all have Infinite Management Solutions. We got Ritzy Manor. So that would look like info@ritzymanor.com. That would look like sales@breewellness.com. That would look like support at the bougiebeautyspot.com. Your business name, thicker than a snicker. I swear I was. Couldn't tell me nothing as a kid. Oh, that's what happened when you hypersexualize, y'all. You start to internalize it. It's as if it's a good thing, but it is what it is, y'all. You feel me? So that email needs to be secure. Ours is support@venher.co. Again, this is for funding. This is to make sure also that your deliverability rate is good when you sending out emails. Because sometimes people don't get your email because you have an @Gmail and it goes straight to people's spam. Another reason why you want that domain, especially from Google, I go to Google Domains and get all of my domains from them because I want Google Workspace. Google Workspace is a monthly fee that you have to pay, but you get access to so many things through Google. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Calendar. You get access to the entire workspace for you and your team, which is worth it, in my opinion, to pay $6 per month per user. I don't know about y'all, but I use that whole damn thing for my business. So it's definitely important that you all invest in these types of things. Okay. So we still building up, y'all. When it comes to this business, we're looking at the business website or landing page. So a website is more comprehensive. When you go somewhere and you see about us, home, services, contact us, blah, 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 blah. That's a website. You can get lost in the website. They got a bunch of shit going on in the website. When it comes to your landing page, though, landing page, for example, is Linktree. When you go on somebody Linktree, there ain't nothing you can do on Linktree besides click on the links that you see. That's a landing page. When people land on that page, there's only certain things that they can do. But when somebody goes on your website, they can get lost in the web. So if you have a new business and you don't have a lot to offer just yet, don't make this complicated. Build you out a landing page. However, if you have a lot to offer, build out your website. But like I tell my mentees, my clients, my people in my community, I tell them straight up, you're going to have to add a website to these applications when you're applying for funding. So if you are in a risky business and your website shows all of your risky business, think about that. So I want y'all to see what y'all see on this slide and make it make sense for what I'm saying on the low low. Okay, what I'm saying on the low low. EIN, we gotta have it. If you work a 9 to 5 job, y'all, every single employer has an EIN. I know some of y'all right here is counting on them W-2s. I remember growing up as a kid, we ain't get nothing for Christmas sometimes, and my mom would say, "I got you on my, when I get my taxes." That's the struggle of growing up poor. Don't they always say that? Did they ever come through when it came to getting them taxes? Did they? I'm still holding on to this trauma, damn it. But I sell it at to say, when you file those taxes, they asking for those pay stubs because they need those EINs. They need that number. They need the numbers that you made. Well, they need the taxes that were withheld. They need all of those things to make sure that you can actually get that money back on taxes. Because a lot of times as employees, we actually overpay in taxes. We let the government make interest on our money, and then we ask for a refund at the end of the year. You can actually not pay them. You don't have to pay over taxes. You can actually withhold or not withhold as many taxes to avoid getting a refund at the end of the year, so your checks will be higher. But that's neither near. You feel me? Whole point is, you need that EIN. This is your business social security number. Every business has one or should have one. Okay, so you need this for everything, y'all. You need this for building business credit. You need this for getting bank accounts, hiring employees. You need this for filing taxes. You need your EIN for anything you can think of. So I always recommend that people apply for the EIN once their LLC is approved. However, you can make sure that your EIN is good to go by making sure that when you go and apply for your LLC, that the name that you're interested in is not taken. Because if you don't make sure that your name is not taken in that state, then you might apply for a business name that is close to, similar, or the same as someone else, and they're going to deny you. So imagine that you went and created an EIN after you submitted your LLC and it comes back denied, but now you got an EIN to an LLC that does not exist. So that's the reason why I always recommend what I just told y'all. Either wait till you are approved, one, or two, make sure you search the name, because if you search the name and it's nowhere near, it's not similar, and it's not spelled the same, etc., more than likely that LLC will be approved from that state. All right. You also need this business bank account, y'all. Once you get the EIN, the next best thing is to build you up a business bank account, savings and check-ins, okay? Period. We need it. So you want to establish those relationships with those small banks. You want to establish it with those regional banks, credit unions, etc., etc. I always tell the people in my community, let the money season. Let the money season, okay? What we talk about seasoning? You got to marinate. You got to let the money marinate a little bit. You can't be impatient like I am and expect to get funding, okay? Sometimes it just don't work out like that. They need to see, you can't put the money in and then say a week later, pull it out. Come on now. Transaction ain't even hit the bank yet. Let them breathe. So let that money season for a little bit. The best time frame in which you want to wait is really about 90 days. I think we'll talk about that in the next slide. I don't really remember, but 90 days is a good amount of time, okay? And it's going to help increase your bank rate and approval odds, all right? This is something to keep in mind. At Lowry's, you put Lowry's, Lord Jesus. Them Detroit folks, man, y'all real country to be from the north. I know that much. Now listen, because Lowry's, I could have swore was an A. I might be tripping, but I said Lawry. So when it comes to those bank ratings, y'all, minimally you want to go for that low 5. Some of y'all might be like, Rory, listen, girl, what? Bye. I ain't got 10K. What we about to do? Listen, You don't have to have 10K, but I'm saying that's a good number to be at. However, shoot for that low four, even lower. Whatever you can put in is better than somebody who's asking to borrow money from somebody who ain't got no skin in the game. This is going to help you. This is going to help your approval odds and building those relationships with the bank. Building those relationships with the bank will take you much further. I promise it will. And the way you build relationships with bank is through money and through time. All right, so now we kind of transition through all of the basic things you need from the LLC side, and now we're transitioning to those things that also help you get funding. You need your DUNS number. It's called your DNB number, right? Dun and Bradstreet is one of the main business credit bureaus. What's up, Asha? Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Dun and Bradstreet is one of the main business credit bureaus. And this is what allows you to generate your business credit score. This is also what allows you to get different trade lines and accounts reported to or reported from these different vendors so that you can actually build up your business credit. So the DUNS number is completely free. It comes immediately through email. But beware that this company, Dun and Bradstreet, they will upsell you on everything under the sun. And you do not need a lot of it to get started. The only thing I recommend is NAV, which I'm pretty sure is coming up in the next couple of slides. All right. When it comes to your NIAX code, a lot of people don't talk about the NIAX code, but the NIAX code is very important because this is what identifies your business. And the NIAX code is used on a government federal level, right? So if you wanted to get grants, if you wanted to get any type of government funding, government contracts, grants, business funding, money, they want to see what type of NIAX code you have because the NIAX code classifies your business and it shows what level of risk you have in your business as well as the general activity for the business. So if you put in the wrong NIAX code or one that's considered more risky, that might lead you to be in a high risk industry, right? Which will then impact your approval odds. So the one I use because I am in business consulting is the Journal of Business Consulting. So if you are using this as well, you can take this code right here. This covers a lot. This is like a broad number. So what a lot of people don't know because they haven't looked at NIAX's website is that one number could mean like 50 different businesses actually, right? So real estate could be a property manager, you could be a real estate agent, it could all be underneath the same number. So you want to actually take your time looking through this to see what resonates with you best so that you can make sure that you get that bag. Okay. Yes. So when it comes to your business's searchability, y'all, and discoverability, this is extremely important, especially if you have a name that a lot of people that's very common. See, the names I saw earlier weren't very common names, but I want you to recognize and understand that if they are, you don't want to be connected to someone who might not have their business as built out as you do incorrectly. So think about that. These are a couple of different places that you can list your business, and some of these places are free, other ones are not. But all of the information that we just went through is going to help prepare you for filling these particular pages out. You can also hire people on Fiverr to fill it out for you. But here we go. So this is a full overview minus the business trademark piece of what we just discussed. So if you need to look at it at a glance, this is essentially what you all need to establish prior to getting that funding. Obviously, keep in mind the other things we talked about, like the Dun and Bradstreet number, the business bank accounts and things like that as well. So this is like everything that you need from a foundational, what is the word? It's Monday. It's been a Monday. From a foundational perspective, this is what you all need to get that started. And I'm going to be real with y'all because I know Black people like to play. This shouldn't take y'all no more than 2 weeks to get done. For real. Because some of y'all be like, man, I ain't know where to go. What excuse you got now? I done gave you everything. There ain't nothing left. I'm telling you, there is nothing more than what you're seeing right now. After you got that foundational information built out, at that point in time, it's time to actually build the credit. And that's what we about to jump into. And then I'm going to let my girl Asha come on here and speak a little bit All right. And so for my people who are in my next gen community, I actually have my courses where I lay out all types of different things, but specifically the DIY LLC guide. Because some of y'all may have never filled out your own LLC, so you don't know what that actually looks like. But for the people in my community, they get those things for free because I already built it out. So I don't have to gatekeep the information. It's for the people who invest in themselves. So I say that if you want to learn how to create your own LLCs, or if you want to start a business around starting up people's businesses, like much like LegalZoom or other businesses, that guide is going to put you well on your way. All right. So step two, we got the foundation together. We're going for the funding now. Let's get into it. So we building this business credit. Let's talk about this PG versus non-PG. Okay. When it comes to the credit bureaus, there's three major business credit bureaus: Dun and Bradstreet, Equifax for Business, Experian Commercial. It's really straight like this. Okay. So you can see the credit scores for each of those. And just like personal credit, the lenders will report to different bureaus based on the lenders that they, or the vendors that, sorry, bureaus that they report to. So when you're building out business credit, just like you would do on the personal side, you want to make sure you work with vendors and pay and invest in vendors who don't just report to Dun and Bradstreet like most of them do. They need to be reporting to Equifax and Experian as well to help you build out that business score. Okay. So when it comes to or sorry, I shouldn't say reporting to Experian and Equifax. They need to be building up the credit scores for them, essentially. Okay, because commercial or Equifax commercial and Experian commercial, these things are reporting to Dun and Bradstreet, and you'll see it reflected on NAV. So I don't want to confuse anyone. So when it comes to Dun and Bradstreet, like I was telling y'all, that Paydex score is gonna go from 1 to 100. My girl Asha that y'all can't see right now, she got a 150. I couldn't believe it. She got 150. I said, how'd you do that? Nah, I'm just playing around. But there's people out here who all you need is an 80, and that's going to help you get that approval. Like we don't need to be out here striving for perfection. That 80 is going to get you locked in and get you moved up those tiers and get you that heightened sense and heightened amounts, those higher credit limits when it comes to the business funding. Now this is for, we're speaking about PG and non-PG funding right now holistically, but we're going to get into it individually. Okay. When it comes to building your business credit, NAV is a great resource. NAV to business credit is what Credit Karma is to personal credit. It is I got it right this time. It is a credit monitoring service. Thank you, Asha. I appreciate your support backstage. It is a credit monitoring service. Okay. It also is a trade line that will report for you. Now, y'all can use this code right here and get a certain percentage off your monthly amounts, which will help make this lower. But look at this as an investment in your business. It is a subscription, but this is an investment in your business to help get these lenders reported to the credit bureaus so that you can scale quickly on the non-PG side. Okay. So when it comes to non-PG business credit, I talk about this with the people in my community about my gripe with non-PG business credit, but that's not for this. That's not for this. This is for YouTube. This is for YouTube. Okay. So with that being said, y'all, there is a tier-based structure with non-PG business credit. However, in my perspective, as a business credit consultant, it is very much an individual process that you have to go through yourself to build out the credit profile that you want for yourself. And it will be dependent on what you've built up personally and what the lenders are looking for from you personally. Okay. And what I mean by that is that the criteria doesn't change with what these lenders want, what they want. Like WANT, that came out real country right now. Won't, but I said that to say that criteria won't change based on anything that you're doing, but it depends on what you've built out. Some people choose different vendors to build out on each tier, which will impact what you obviously will be going for after each tier. So bare bone basic is your tier 1 accounts. This is what you've probably all heard of. Everyone says the same accounts, net 30 accounts. These are your vendor accounts. These accounts typically are not revolving, which means that you have to pay your balances off in full by whatever the closing date is for that particular vendor. Okay, so if it's 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, they want their money back now, not tomorrow. Okay, so you always want to call and ask them what their terms are so that you know what you need to spend to avoid late payments and also to actually qualify for a net 30 account. So buy things that you need for your business with them. These folks are going to do a lot of cleaning supplies, phone lines, different things like that. And I'm not talking phone lines from the large vendors like Sprint and Verizon. I'm talking about their own trade lines, which we're going to get into in the next slide. But make sure that you have at least 5 to 6 trade lines, not to generate a payday score, but at least fulfill the requirements so that once you go to tier 2, you'll be out in a better place to be able to get better and larger lines of credit, because all non-PG business credit is built on your pre-existing lines of credit that you already have. So if you got $1,000 on one card, you can't expect much more as you're building up. So that's why you want to beef up as much as possible each tier that you build out so that you can increase your limits and get this bag. Okay? Period. All right. I don't know why I just slammed this desk, but I did. So once the score is generated, y'all, with the Paydex score, different lenders like Quill, I shouldn't say lenders, but different companies like Quill, Uline, Granger, a lot of these other different places that are not revolving, once they've reported enough times, which is typically around 3 times or over 3 months, once they've reported long enough, you all don't have to keep making purchases at that point. You all can just stop making those purchases once you've paid it out, paid it off. Don't run off on the plug. That's not what I'm saying. But once you've paid it out, you can go ahead and make that transition. And then you can move on to another company and spend money with them to build out your payment experiences. Okay. So take a picture of this, y'all. Here's some different companies and what they actually offer at the tier 1 level. This is what the companies that you all want to call and tell them, hey, I would love to build a line of credit with you all, build a business, whatever you want to say, but say, hey, what are the terms? When you hear them say net 30, you'll know that you're speaking about the right terms. So consider this, y'all. When you're calling these different vendors, they don't just only offer net 30 accounts. They offer different types of business credit for different types of businesses. So you want to make sure you're getting the right business credit that you need to report on your profile and not the incorrect one, which won't actually help you. But it just depends on the lender, okay? Tier 2 is where you're going to get into those vendor/retail accounts. And this is where you can actually start to use a little bit more of your credit. It's still not as versatile as PG business credit. You still will have to use it mostly at those specific locations, which I didn't discuss in the last slide. But if you got a card with Best Buy, you have to use it at Best Buy. If you got a card with Floor and Decor, it has to be used at Floor and Decor. So it won't be until you get these different cards where you can do things a little bit differently, like the Wex gas cards. Those have more permissions than the Shell fleet card. So there's different things that you are able to do over time. But once you build up that credit profile, that non-PG business credit, you'll be able to get higher. You'll be able to get higher limits, better payment terms, meaning longer times to pay it off, as well as more versatility with how you can spend the money. That's when they'll start extending you lines of credit non-PG, when they'll start extending you auto loans non-PG, et cetera, but they're not doing that fresh off the gate like they would with PG. All right. Tier 3, which in my opinion, these tiers are imaginary, but they're here. And for the purpose of this video, I will tell you all that that you should go through a synchronous process to get it up and get it out. These are your fleet cards. All right. And there's much more than this, y'all. These are just a few examples. The people in my community actually have a large amount of these accounts that I let them in on. It's much more than what y'all see online. Then we got our fintech business credit, y'all. Fintech business credit is a financial technology. These are our fintech financial technology companies. And this is the direction we are going in the financial sector, the financial industry sector. If y'all follow Wall Street, this is all he praises about is fintech, because they are now they're making credit and getting access to finances from banks more equitable by not necessarily, and I use this strongly because never mind. they're using different ways to essentially track your spending and also like see your financial habits to approve you for credit using other circumstances or other determinations rather than just your credit score and credit profile. So when it comes to your fintech business credit, a lot of them determine your eligibility based on the amount of money that you have in your accounts, personal or business or both. So they go based on the liquidity that you have, and they verify it using these third party, also fintech companies like Plaid. Whole conversation. Now, unlike this is still non-PG business credit for a lot of these lenders, but some of them are PG even though it's fintech. So I want to be clear about that. Some are PG, some are not PG. Some are revolving, some are not revolving. But most times, fintech, because they are non PG, essentially, let's say this more times often than not, if it's non PG, they're going to have payment terms where it's likely not going to be revolving or it's a very short payment time in which you need to pay it back. So they might give you revolving terms, but only for 3 months, meaning that you need to pay it full. It's revolving. The balance revolves around 3 months, but you need to pay it off. Okay. Some of them are charge cards, which is also non revolving sometimes, unless they tell you that it's revolving. An example of that is Amex. Amex is a charge card, but they do allow you to revolve your balance and pay interest over time, right? So if you go any amount over your spending limit, and let me be clear, Amex is not a fintech credit card, but if you go over your spending limit, you'll have to pay off whatever you spent over that spending limit in full, but whatever's underneath that spending limit is what you'll pay over time. Okay? I hope I didn't go over y'all's heads with that. But again, the fintech is cool because you can use those cards anywhere. Those are Visa and MasterCards typically. So even though it's non PG, you have more flexibility to spend with them rather than the EIN only business credit. Man, I should have took the price up on this. This exhausting. So listen, y'all, I'm playing with y'all. My eyes burn. So look at this. EIN only fintech business credit. Here are a couple of different companies that you all can look at. I know you all have probably heard of Divvy. I know you all have probably heard of Capital on Tap. Those are two of the big ones. Asha, who's coming on, is actually she's one of my prize people because this girl goes out and goes and get it. Okay, and so when I tell her go do this, she goes and do it. But then also she takes initiative on her own. So I'm gonna let her talk about that. But Stripe, PayPal, all of those, they will literally offer you money when you log into your accounts. They will tell you what you qualify for in your account. Stripe, literally in my dashboard, I will see they'll say you qualify for this much money. How are they able to qualify you? Because your transactions are going through them. So they see what type of money you're actually making. they've already approved you essentially. All right. So now we about to jump into PG really quickly because it's not much to PG. PG, it ain't no secret sauce in my opinion. You either got it or you don't. So when it comes to PG business credit, y'all, you are personally guaranteeing it, meaning you are personally responsible for any debt or liabilities that your business accumulates. So this means that you need to have your personal credit profile set up a specific way, meaning no negative items or a low amount of negative items. So I want to speak definitively so that you can actually build out your non-PG and PG business credit. Because even though it's not, I got to clear this up, even though it's non-PG, that does not mean that they are not pulling your credit. Even if it's a soft pull, that's still pulling your credit to determine a basic line of or a basic scope of what your credit looks like. Bad credit is bad credit. And just because they're not doing a hard pull does not mean that they will approve you on the non-PG side. But on the PG side, you got bad credit, it's over with. The only way that they will allow this is if you use what's called a secure credit card, which means that you have to put money down on that account, and I don't ever recommend doing that. So if you get contacted by a lender and they say that you don't qualify for this card, but try this card, that's actually happened to me. I think once where they was like, we can't get you this, but we can give you this. And I was like, well, if you can't give me this, you can't give me nothing because I ain't paying for I'm not paying no money down on nobody's credit cards ever. Okay, I'm using what I worked my ass off to build. Period. Even if it's frozen, List out your whole question because there's a slight delay on YouTube, so I'm not sure what that's related to. Okay. So here's a general overview of what you need. It does not mean that if you don't have this that you are going to be denied. But what it does mean is that you might have a harder process getting approved. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. Those negative items which y'all see towards the bottom, those are really, 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 really important that you do not have those on your profile. Again, it does not mean that you'll be denied, but it's going to be a harder process getting funding. And I don't want y'all to have to deal with struggling getting funding um, simply because you didn't fix your credit. Because that's a small price to pay. You know, $1,000 for credit repair is a small price to pay in order to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding over time. Because that's what we're going to build over time. No matter if y'all can see that for yourself or not, you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding, but you have to take your time building this up. It's not a quick process. Okay, so make sure y'all got that down so we can make sure we still rocking and rolling. Now, when it comes to scaling your funding, y'all, and now before I leave, y'all, when it comes to PG funding, you can get this anywhere. Any bank, small banks, regional banks, large banks. I highly recommend that y'all choose banks you're already banking with, local banks, credit unions that you can pay a fee to get into. A lot of people, if you were like me 2 years ago, I didn't even think I could get into credit unions. I thought that it was just something that only certain people had the privilege of getting into. Then I realized there's whole directories where all you got to do is pay $15 or $25 to get into the credit union, and then boom, they locked you in. Some of these credit unions will allow you to use one hard inquiry and get 3 different products with it. Some of these credit unions will allow you to get an auto loan with them and not have to pay it for 4 months before your first bill comes in. Bank of Texas is one of those. They'll say, yeah, I ain't learned nothing here, right? PSECU, Philadelphia State Employees Credit Union. They pull from Experian. You can use that one inquiry and get multiple products with them. SECU of Maryland, same thing. Sorry, next gen fam, if I gave too much sauce on them. I apologize. Personal credit and soft pools, even if it's frozen. Even if it's frozen, soft pools and hard pools can still slip through. That is a common misconception. They can still go through sometimes. All right. So we're teaching you all this. We're going through these different things because I want you all to understand how to fund yourself. If you all come to a company like me, I charge 10% for funding. But the thing is, y'all, a lot of times I don't charge people 10% for funding. I tell them to come get into my communities where they can learn those things. I have people who've gotten literally tens of thousands of dollars in funding, and I've never charged them 10% of it because I wanted them to learn how to do it for themselves. It gives me much more gratification that you all know how to run these plays yourself, know what to look for when it comes to funding. And even if this information is repetitive, it's going to continuously be repetitive if you have not applied it. Somebody might say, I know all of this. Well, then why don't you have business credit right now? You know? And this is not shade. This is me put some fire underneath y'all because a lot of people know these things and they'll keep coming to these types of trainings. You might learn a couple things. I hope that y'all learned a lot, but even if you didn't, right? The fire, I want the fire to be underneath you. So when you're thinking about this PG funding, like I talked, Angel, cut it out. Y'all are so funny. You and Asha are cutting up. So when it comes to creating your own funding matrix, make sure y'all look into stacking up your profile a particular type of way. And this is what I go through in more depth in my community, but stacking up your profile in such a way that you know what questions to ask, what their underwriting guidelines are, and then you understand what banks to choose strategically based on your current personal credit profile. These are the things that there's no one size fits all way to get business funding. That's why I don't teach like that. I teach a overview, and then we can start breaking down Q&A based on what you have going on with your business, or in your personal profile, because every lender is different. I'm not a lender. However, there's certain things that we know is going to work and certain things that we know is not going to work. So generally speaking, these are some questions that you can ask to get the information that you need and want to actually go out and get this money. Some people are scared to call the bank and ask a question, scared to set up a meeting with the people and ask a question. And you shouldn't be. Okay. So take a picture of this, y'all. I'm zooming through this because I'm trying to wrap this up. All right. Remember, the people you building with, they are not the underwriters, but they influence decisions still. So make sure you know your projected revenue, projected income, have your annual spend and monthly spend in mind. Write these things down. I provided the people in my community a literal spreadsheet for every type of funding that they could use: personal funding, business funding, EIN funding, PG funding, and non PG funding. They got a spreadsheet to track every single question to ask the lenders so that they know every single thing that each of these banks will ask for. And it's fully customizable for them, but this is just the basis for them to get started. Okay. So once you got that bag, y'all, these are just a couple of things that you can invest in. There's so many other things, so many other things. I want y'all to get creative. This is just a list of things that I've personally done myself outside of, well, yeah, I've done all of these things before actually, but there's so many things that you all could get invested in, and you're using the funding to build your business, and then you're using the revenue from your business to pay off the debt that you owe to these lenders, to then turn around and use the residual cash flow to pay yourself. This is how we really get a bag. Now take a picture of this, y'all. These are just miscellaneous tips to help you when it comes to funding. All right, just miscellaneous tips when it comes to funding. Screenshot it, do whatever you got to do, because I'm trying to bust through this so I can let my girl talk. So Asha, let me see how this works. Add to string. Boom. You here, you live. I'm sorry, I didn't give you no warning. I am so sorry. I tried to wait till you was done eating at least. Can you unmute yourself? No? Only I can? Oh, cool. I got host privileges. Okay, so listen, y'all. I got my girl Asha coming on here because one, Asha is a vibrant participant of every community that I've held. Everything I've done, she's been a part of. From live classes to mentorships to now my membership, she's literally been a part of it all and seen us through it. And I know that this has tremendously helped her in her personal life and her business as well. So I wanted to let her take a few moments to talk about the Next Gen membership.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead and talk about some of the benefits of the Next Gen membership and just generally everything.
Right. Okay, sure. So first I'm actually going to start from the top. Hey, everybody. Asha Khai Chang here, CEO of Love My Productions, LLC. We do everything from producing television shows, films, and web series, as well as doing marketing consulting services, right? That's mainly for film festivals. Um, yeah, my majority is film festivals. Oh, as well as for other businesses as well, just to help them out with getting their content together and just getting all their video creation needs. So that's pretty much it, me in a nutshell, right there. Um, and so I'm glad you mentioned. See, my mind's like going everywhere. I'm like, I'm glad you mentioned about what else we invest in. So even though film and TV is like that's my main thing. I also invest in real estate and fintech. So I'm glad that Rory mentioned that. Like that's like we need to, whenever you're an entrepreneur, and you see opportunities, we have to seize them. So speaking of which, that's how I found Rory, right? I was looking out, she was talking about vending at the time, vending machines, and then she was like, hey, I'm making a pivot. Here are some things we've done with my I remember we were talking about real estate investment that you've actually succeeded in and other ways to make money. And I'm like, man, I want to see what she did and how did she scale up and how we do funding and what's going on. So fortunately, I kept following that journey. And I scheduled my own consultation with her. I just kind of sit down, like she said, I remember asking questions like, that sounds like a one-on-one question about your business, about your personal credit and how you can get, PG into business. And then I also went to financial literacy as well, FLM. So that I'm really happy that I did that, because that was more of a mind. You guys probably went through that already, but I had to do like a whole mindset shift. And once I did that, Rory's right. The more that you keep hearing about things, that's the reason why I joined and Jim. And she's like, okay, cool. So now that you have next gen mentorship, you'll get to be in a group of collective people who are thinking continuously about how to grow, how to expand, how to scale up their businesses. And it's definitely made a difference. So even though, like I said, I went to the mentorship and had another mentorship, and along the way, I just kept stacking up. Like, okay, cool, I got this business. I did the non-PG or EIN only business credit. Okay, now let me set aside a time and a way to, or strategy, if you will, right? We had a strategy session on Rory about like, how am I going to actually go for PG? And I remember I was so scared. Oh my gosh. She's literally said to me, she's like, why were you scared? You said that we went through setting up the profile, right? Go. So happy I went for it. That was like over what, 150K in that first run.
Wait, say
Um
say that again for the
yeah.
people.
So about 150,000 in credit. So like everything Rory said, go for these cards in this way, it worked out. And I was like, of course, she prepared me. She's like, no promises, no guarantees, but your profile looks ready to win. And I'm like, all right, but you got to be in it to win it. So by being with the right people, with the right mindset, with the right guidance, then I was able to then make the right decisions of what to apply for, when, and how. So that first round was amazing. Now I'm not preparing for, and then I did more rounds, right? So then I started to get into my fintech cards. Um, and that's why she's like, you know about that already, because I have my capital on tap and like Divvy and like expanding that out. And everything is about like making, like you said, making the investments to the next business. So actually, I didn't tell Rory this, is that's fun right now. I just started my own real estate.
You started your own what?
Investment group, actually. So we started that up.
Yes.
I'm just dropping it on you. And I
Yes.
listened to everything we learned in NGM. So in Next Gen, I'm gonna keep doing. I say NGM is better for me. So inside NGM, because people were talking like, oh yeah, well I'm gonna go for real estate. I'm like, you know what? Rory literally gave us all the tools of what we need to do to start a new business. Let me just do this, and it was overnight, and it was way cheaper than what I tried to do the first time, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, it was way cheaper. So I'm just being really honest, really transparent. So the first time I went for it, well, not first time. This time I went for it way cheaper. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was getting into. And now I'm gonna get on that next, round of getting the funding, the business funding, and everything else together now too. So boom. Um, and then the good thing about seeing in other people in the group win, it kind of reminds you, it keeps you on track for your goals. It also lets you know about something else to go for. I haven't had an offer. I think that was something that came recently. I had an offer in the mail, which is nice. They're like, oh, we have an offer in the mail for this bank. Does
Yeah.
anyone know about what that funding looks like? And it felt good to finally tap into a group and people go, this is what happened with me. Yes, they asked for this. No, they don't. So then now I can prepare to win. Like that's the whole point, right? We want to make sure that we're succeeding in our businesses. So being into the group of people who only want you to do well, and we're not at all in the same industry, like not even for a second, but the fact that we still are like we have the same common goal to scale up, do better, learn more, get the right habits together. Hands down, I'm glad that I'm part of the community. Not
Yes.
getting rid of me, Rory.
I'm getting rid of you now. No, I'm joking. Uh, no, thank you so much for pouring some life into the people so they can see like this has been like a gradual process. It's not something where it's like an overnight thing, but
Mhm.
like you said, you had 150 from all of the different things that you did with me, but also ran on your own, and then you're
Yeah.
still building.
Yep.
Like Capital on Tap was not a part of that.
No, it was not. Yeah, that was the next round. So Cap on Tap is the next round. Wasn't the next round. I know I'm forgetting something. That sounds embarrassing. Tell me why it took me forever to run the Apple Card play. Anyway, that's personal.
Yeah,
But and this is like she's had that on the page for a while, but like this is what happened. That's why it's good to keep hearing it because I heard it again in another session. I was like, that is so simple. Why haven't I done it yet? And I went for
right.
8,000 already. So it was like that. It was like 17, no, 18,001, 8,000 the other. And then like so now my mind is on the other banks I want to work with, and because I already have a relationship with them, like you said, and that that's what I mean by like setting your own strategy together, because we already figured out which ones I can run with today versus the ones that I need to build a relationship with over 90 days or more. So now I'm prepared for the next round of who else I'm going to work with for funding, as well as on the back end, what are we going to invest in. So that's
Yes, I think that's key. And yeah, you really hit on everything that I wanted you to hit on. That the people need to understand that it's like this is a process where you come for the knowledge, but you stay because of the community. Like
yeah.
Angel here right now, she spoke last week and talked about what the community has been for her. But these are people who are established in their own businesses. I'm not the person to teach y'all because I know it all, but I am the person to teach because I know how to bring together a body of knowledge and a
Yep.
community that's actively wanting to help one another win. That's what this is about. And so Asha is one of those people. Angel is one of those people who are actively currently paid members of the community
Yep.
and investing in themselves to get this knowledge, to get these resources, and most importantly, to support. Because when people invest in things, they find themselves struggling because they don't have that support. So
Yeah.
thank you, Asha. I appreciate you taking some time. Feel free to stay. I'm wrapping things up, but I'm gonna throw you back on mute for now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So listen, y'all, I just want to talk really quickly about the Next Gen membership and what this is about. As you can see right now, this is just a calendar of events. And so this month we talked about PG credit, non-PG business credit. Tomorrow I'm gonna actually take some time and just open up the floor to focus on strategy and structure so that we can all be on one accord. This month alone, just one of my students, one of my clients, however you want to name them, really I call them my partners because we in this together. She got approved for close to 25K this month, right? Imagine paying $97 to get approved for almost $25,000 in business funding. These are the types of things that are happening within the community. And guess what, y'all? All of this was non PG business credit. This was all non PG business credit that they were able to get almost 25K, which means that their credit didn't have to be the best to get approved for this, but they still were approved, okay? And so I got somebody coming at the end of the month or 2 weeks from now to talk about how to leverage business credit with life insurance so that we can become our own banks through infinite banking. So listen, this is not a game. When I tell y'all this is serious, this is really serious. We have guest speakers who I have who are killing it in their industry, and I bring these people into my community. Last month, we had a tax expert come and give the family some game on just tax strategies and ways to prepare for taxes this year, things to think about that we hadn't known. We have tax people in the community who already knew some of these things and are helping us throughout each week by dropping gems. We got credit repair people in the group. We got folks who are running car rental businesses in the group. It's a bunch of different people in this group, and that's what makes it so special because no matter what you're interested in, there is somebody who has already done what you're looking to do. I promise you. And that's how our group looks. That's how it is right now. And so I got something special for the people who already invested. You already locked in. You don't even have to worry about it. You are already locked in. Right after this call or tomorrow, you're gonna see the login information to get into the portal. You're gonna see the live or the information to get locked in so you can be in our first session starting tomorrow. You don't even have to wait. For those who want to join, however, the link that you see that's in the comments as well as the banner that you see, all you all have to do is pay $1. For my people who paid $1 to get in this training, y'all already good to go. I appreciate y'all for trusting in this training. And the people who get into the membership, you all are going to see the replays for everything that we just talked about. I provide replays for, I want to say 100%, but I don't know what the future gonna look like. So 99%, 99% of meetings are recorded and they are posted within 24 hours of us ending the call. So or ending the call for that week so that my people can go back and review and run the plays. The person who I told y'all just made 25K in business credit actually missed the business credit class where we talked about the exact cards that they went and got approved for. But they watched the replay and then ran the play. Wasn't scary. Said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it. Use the information that was shared with them. And then boom, they locked in. And so I say all of that to say, y'all, this is not something that you want to play with. When it comes to this membership, we are building out something special. This month is focused on business credit, and next month we're focusing on real estate. Because if you all know me, you all know that I love real estate, and I think it's the number one way to build wealth, especially within the Black community. And so we're spending time. I'm bringing my mentor in to talk about mobile home investing. I'm bringing people coming in to talk about short-term rentals. This is we gonna get busy. We gonna get busy for sure, y'all. So I want y'all to understand that it takes you absolutely nothing to invest $1 and see and try it out for 14 days. If you hate it, opt out of it. If you love it, stay in it. You'll see what the cost is. It's $97 monthly. When you break this up, you're literally paying $3 a day. So when you think of it like that, it's like that might be some Mickey D's money. Starbucks, if you drink that, it's way less than Netflix that you pay for, and you just BS your time around. So we really got to take this seriously, build our businesses and build them quickly. Stay as long as you need to have your business developed and have the community that you need. That's how I see it. It's not a lifetime commitment. It's a monthly commitment. So whenever you're ready to bounce, you can. I want you to stay as long as you need to stay, as long as you want to stay. But I also recommend that when it's time for the bird to leave the nest, go ahead and fly. Fly, baby, fly. But listen, y'all, I already told y'all about Angel and Asha. Angel's been all in the comments. I know when she here because she's gonna be seen. Don't listen to me, listen to them. They already told you about the benefits of the community. This is the link for y'all to go ahead and join. Y'all don't see me on Instagram active anymore because I'm building up my businesses from within the people who are investing in me. Period. The people who are in next gen get all of me. Instagram is getting like 15-20% nowadays. And that's because I'm committed to scaling up their businesses. And the crazy thing is, y'all, they're committed to scaling mine too. As little if they might not even know that, but they're committed just by them staying invested and working on themselves and asking questions. They're helping me refine my skills and scale what I'm doing as well. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I hope that y'all click this link. Make sure y'all get locked in. My people who are in next gen also get complimentary access to my Boss Your Business course. A lot of people was like, Robbie, I want it. I can't afford it. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to build out a membership and I'm going to give people access to this through my membership. So everybody who's in the membership currently, whether they looked at their emails or not, all have access to this course. All right. And this is a multi course where we're talking about LLC foundations that I told y'all about earlier, funding. We're talking about automations. If you need systems to use to figure out how all of these things work, how to be more hands off in your business, that course goes over all of that. This is a course that I was literally selling for $3,000, y'all. So don't take it lightly by getting into a membership where you can pay $97 monthly and get access to the community, to the course, and these weekly live calls with myself and with these high level, in my opinion, high level entrepreneurs. Because if you're willing to invest in yourself and show up weekly, that is to me a high level individual, a high level entrepreneur, and more importantly, a high level business owner. Because we're not just entrepreneurs out here, we are business owners. Business owners. Entrepreneur is anybody who's out here making some money, but a business owner is somebody who is keeping in mind scale. A business owner is someone who is keeping in mind the projections, the longevity of their business. That's a business owner. That's not just an entrepreneur. So I want y'all to get tapped in. I'm going to drop this link one more time for y'all. Y'all see it going across here on this banner. All you got to do is opt into that, pay your $1. You're going to get in right away. You're going to get access to the group right away. Y'all can start looking at the stuff as soon as today. I ain't playing. Look at, there you go, Asha. There you go again. I should drop some game on a manufacturer spending play that I need even know. And that's what I'm telling y'all. That's what the community is for. Everybody in the community be dropping game beyond just me. You feel me? And this is consistent game multiple times throughout the week where we're using the chat to run these different plays and learn different things and asking before we go out here looking crazy. Hey, let me run this by y'all really quickly. This is what it looks like in practice, y'all. So I hope that y'all don't take this lightly. Um, Angel out here getting her hubby business credit. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm like, listen, you gotta leave the story and take the lesson. Leave the story and take the lesson. They tell you that in college. When somebody tells you something, leave the story between those two people, take the lesson, y'all. So everything you learn in next gen, leave the story, take the message, and go out here, run these plays, get this bag, get this money, because it's everybody else got it but us. Everybody else got it by us. So we need to figure out how we can get parts. So this is my contact information, y'all. Feel free to go ahead and sign up for our email so you can make sure you stay tapped in and hear from us. If you sign up for emails, that means you'll automatically get plugged into our text message system. And I send updates through text messages, motivation through text messages, different sales and discount through text, through email. We do a weekly newsletter every single week. I drop my YouTube videos on my newsletter, but I'm wrapping this up because we didn't went long enough. I appreciate y'all for staying tapped in as long as y'all have. And I just want to make sure before we wrap up, Asha, you're the only one who can hear this in real time, so it's gonna be a slight delay. But I need some emojis in the comments. I need some. I see Iris got some diamonds, some flames. If this helped y'all, let me know this helped y'all by posting it on y'all story and saying Rory did it again. Tell the people Rory did it again, please, because they need to see this. They need to stop doubting your girl. I literally just got an email from Torpego. If y'all remember, where was Torpego at? On the fintech companies, right? Oh, I didn't put it. It was another list. I didn't show y'all. Sorry, that's for next gen. But there's a list. There's another list. Torpego is a fintech company. I just got an email for them asking. They literally said, "Hey, we just seen your Instagram page. Your content seems in alignment with what we're doing here at Torpego. We're wondering if you would be interested in a partnership opportunity." And this is what happens when you do what you do and you're good at what you do. Okay, so I appreciate y'all for being tapped in, family. This is wonderful, wonderful news. So we're gonna get out here and build up this business credit, build up these partnerships. And y'all know, for my people who are in the community, they're gonna get access to these opportunities that I'm getting by being an offspring. And it's the last thing I'm gonna say before I go. I just posted something in our next gen community today. I said I'm gonna figure out how to make next gen a trade line. I'm gonna figure out how to make my community a trade line so that when it reports, you all have an additional account that's reporting to one, two, or all three of those business credit bureaus, so that when somebody makes that $97 investment, while they're making that investment, that trade line can help them build up their business credit. Now, I don't know what your other entrepreneurs are doing that you are investing in, but I'm going to tell you right now, I know this on YouTube. I hope they don't block my content, but I can't be fucked with, okay? So, much love, family. I appreciate y'all. Asha, thank you again, Queen. I love y'all. For all my new people who tapped in, I hope y'all got to see the real me. I'm going to hop off of here. Y'all take care, okay? Peace. Peace, family. Peace. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all, family.